Turn it up. It's The Record Machine with your host, Jimmy Howell.
Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, Jimmy, how are you?
Hey, what's up, Tim?
Show sounds great.
Thanks, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Lancaster on the show. How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad, Jimmy. How about you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm telling you, I've been playing your CD in my truck every day because I like to do research. You know, I like to listen to who I'm going to have on the program, and I'm telling you, I really do love it. I'm not just blowing smoke up your backside. I do like the CD.
I appreciate it. I mean, I think there seems to be a little something for everybody on there, so I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying hearing it.
Yeah, we played Dirty Girl. We played Bad Sex Face. I mean,
I love the name of that.
Yeah. So what's the story behind Bad Sex Face?
You're playing all the perverted ones.
Why not, right?
It gets your attention.
I mean, I think that's the sort of ironic nature of those songs. I mean, you know, especially Dirty Girl, you know, it's got that title, but it's a pretty fun and innocent song, right? It's
very catchy.
Yeah. But as far as Bad Sex Face, well, what can I say? You know, I keep a notebook, and, you know, I hear things, or I hear funny names, or, you know, what I think are maybe like potential song titles, and I write them down. And
is that locker room talk, or?
It's not locker room talk. I think I heard it something funny on like a late night talk show or something, and I jotted down the title, and, you know, just like fooling around with songs or trying to write a little bit of music. I said, you know, let's look at the old title list, and there it was, and just kind of started humming things, and the song comes out of it. I don't think it's you know, maybe much more alluring than that. It's just sometimes how a song's written, I guess.
Now, do you write all the songs yourself, or do you have a full band?
Well, this project's all me. It's the ultimate vanity project. I wanted to do something like this, and I think I got in way over my head, but I was determined to finish it. And all the songs written by me, and I played all the instruments, and
really
wrote all the lyrics, sang everything, with a couple little cameos. My son chipped in with a little bit of percussion, and my father. One night I had him down in the studio, and I gave him a shaker, and I gave him a cowbell, and I turned on the recorder, and he said, "Really?" I said, "Let's do it." So a couple little percussion cameos in there. So I think for the rest of my life, I can tell him I need more cowbell.
That's right. You can never have too much cowbell.
You can never have too much cowbell.
That's pretty cool.
But
and how?
So I got 3 generations of percussion on the record.
Nice. And how long did it take to make that record?
You know, I guess it took a while. It took me about 13 months, I think, from start to finish.
That's not bad, though.
I think a lot of people have, you know, say to me, well, when is that record coming out? So I suppose I've been talking about doing the record for a long time, but it took me about 13 months, to record all the songs and get it mixed and get it mastered. And you know, I keep thinking that was a long time, but I think in the long run, I think I did okay. I committed to finishing it, so drove everybody crazy, drove myself a little crazy, but I did it.
One of the listeners is asking a question in the chat room. They want to know, where are you from originally?
Yeah, I grew up in Massachusetts. I'm from Shirley, Massachusetts, little town in the middle of the state.
Nice. And now you're living in, northern New Jersey somewhere, right?
I live in northern New Jersey. I came down here years ago to go to college and try to pursue music, and married a Jersey girl, and married a Jersey girl. Jersey's your home, and I love it. It's great.
So Tim, you originally, when you went to school for music, and then somehow you became a doctor?
Yeah, that's I suppose that's the big twist here, Yeah, I went to school. Yeah, up at William Patterson.
Okay. And what did you study there?
I studied jazz. Yeah, so jazz studies.
Oh, nice.
That was my degree. Yeah, so I have a degree in music. Yeah.
And what made you decide to go into medicine?
Boy, that's a good question.
Were you like pressured by your parents? Like, is your dad a doctor or something? They wanted you to be one? Or?
Oh, no. First doctor in the family.
Wow.
Yep. It's really funny. I think when I decided to kind of pursue that, I think my family had just finally been convinced that music was going to be my profession. So I think for years they were like, oh, man, you know. And they finally said, well, yeah, he's going to be a musician. He's going to school. And all of a sudden I said, you know, I think I want to go to medical school.
Wow.
And I can just imagine what they were thinking. But, you know, I don't know. I think it's a tough one to answer. You know, I had to answer that question a lot, you know, when I was applying to medical school and trying to go to residency. And it's just, you know, I wanted to further my education. I think I was looking for a challenge. I think I needed a break from playing music. And it's amazing because as soon as I finished medicine, all I wanted to do was play music again. So, I think they, you know, I think it's just me. I think it's just two sides of my personality.
So you have a fallback plan at least anyway, right?
This whole doctor thing doesn't work out.
Yeah, if the whole doctor thing doesn't work out, or, you know, or I should say if the whole rock star thing doesn't work out, you could be a doctor.
You know, my wife's always proud that, you know, she says, oh, you're married to a doctor. She says, well, I'm really married to a musician, you know, so she says her true love is professed in the fact that she married a musician, and you're not supposed to marry a musician, you know.
Right.
So, yeah, for years, I mean, she introduced me as a musician. And she says I'm the only doctor who's embarrassed to be a doctor because it doesn't get you much street credit, you know, in the musical world. So.
And what kind of medicine do you practice?
I am an emergency room physician.
Oh, that's great.
So
when you're not saving lives, you're rocking out. All right?
Yeah, I think they're both, good foils for each other. So.
Of course. And you know what?
What else I can say?
I'm sure that, like, you've probably seen your share of you know, some scary stuff when people come in and you save their life, but it's very stressful. And I guarantee you, once you get into the studio and you start playing your music and stuff, it's kind of a little release for you, right?
Yeah, it is. I love not being a doctor. It's wonderful.
I'm sure.
You know,
I know how you feel. I like, I have, a day job and stuff like that too. And, I enjoy this more, but, unfortunately
we got to pay the bills.
We got to pay our bills. So
you're right. I mean, and that's true. That's true. I don't take for granted a minute, that I'm a doctor. It's a privileged thing to do. I work very hard to do it, and it's still, my number one priority. But
yeah, well, it's a very good profession. I mean, without guys like you, the guys and gals out there that are, saving lives every day. I mean,
it's
you can't. Profession. It's a very great profession. I mean, I think it's great that you're doing that, and you still have time to do your passion thing that you love, which is music.
Yeah, I think, as I said, they're good foils for each other, and I enjoy. I have no regrets about any of it. I love music, though, as you do, as we all do, right?
Of course.
So I think it's kind of just trying to find that balance. It's been hard to find the balance, because I think to finish like this record, I was out of balance for a while. Mm-hmm. I had to devote a lot of time and a lot of vacation time to it, a lot of weekends, a lot of nights. But I'm glad I did it. And
where did you record it?
I recorded it in my house. I have a studio in my house.
Wow, that's
humble
awesome.
Little studio. Yep. But,
so you taught yourself how to record and mix, or you do your own mix and everything?
Yeah, and I think that was kind of some of the exciting stuff of this record. I didn't. So you mixed the record.
You're saying
I mixed this record.
You produced and mixed and mixed it.
I did. And,
wow, that's very good, man. That's awesome.
Yep, I had some help at the end with. My middle son Dallas. Indebted to him, because I think he probably listened to this record for 1,000 hours. So I always had help listening, throughout that process. And it was, it's very hard right at the end, because you gotta get that final mix and the master together. And I did have help with that. So good friend of mine, Dwight Hill, helped me do the mastering at the end, and
Okay.
thank God, it really helped me make those kind of final decisions. So,
Wow.
it's, even though, I say, I did everything myself, I got a lot of help along the way. A lot of bleeding ears along the way to help me through it.
One of the listeners in the chat room off my website is asking, will there be a live show soon? Will you be performing, doing any dates for this record?
I will. There's going to be some dates. I think at this point, I would say if anyone's interested in that, from time to time, maybe check out my website or the Facebook page. So there will be some dates. So I've actually got maybe an offer to do something down the shore in May. So I don't have anything definite to announce yet, but I've been working hard on the live set. So I think it's going to be ready to perform soon.
Well, you're gonna have to hire a band though, right?
Yeah, I mean I'm trying to do a solo set,
Okay.
and I'm going to try to do a set with some musicians. So it's going to be challenging, but it's fun. That's where I'm at right now, Jimmy. Is trying to put that together.
Yeah, I mean that would be awesome because we're getting a lot of positive feedback from the listeners, and I was telling them before to give you a like on your Facebook group page, Tim Lancaster Music. Also check you out on Spotify as well. And you said the new video for Bad Sex Face is coming out this week, right?
Yeah. Yep. Very proud of it, and I think everyone's going to enjoy it. It's like visually stunning. So I was able to hire a director, and we came up with this concept and spent a day in a real studio in New York City. It was really fascinating. And I think the videos, I sent it to you. I'm not sure if you had a chance to look at it. Probably not because you're in the middle of your show, but
yeah, I'll check it out later
week,
though.
It's going to premiere on the online magazine called Punk News.
Okay.
And I'll probably make an announcement early next week for that. So I'm really looking forward to that.
What I'm gonna do is when I remember we were talking earlier how I told you I record these interviews. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that video at the beginning of the interview, and then the interview will start, and then at the end we'll fade out with one of your other tunes, and then we'll post that on YouTube probably next week.
That'd be amazing. That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting a lot of, like I said, I'm getting a lot of positive feedback over the CD. And like I was telling you before, one of my favorite ones is, "Dirty Girl," and I think it's brilliant that you put that as the first song on the CD. And what's the story behind that one? It's just something that you thought would sound good, or is it from a personal experience, or?
Yeah, I mean the title's certainly intriguing, right?
Of course.
Well, what I tell everybody is that it's a love song. I don't know. It started off, I think, when I wrote the song, I don't know. It just kind of wrote itself, I didn't have the hook for the song, but I was writing sort of these, fun, classic, rock and roll-ish, kind of lyrics, and it just came out. And I told my wife, I just wrote a song for you. It's a love song. And
what'd she say?
I'm sure.
She
loves it.
She's
proud of it. She loves it.
She's your biggest fan, right?
She is, of course.
That's awesome.
Of course, she's my muse. I think she probably thinks a lot of things that she doesn't tell me, but that's okay. She's very proud of the song and the record, and it's just a fun song.
How long have you been married?
Oh, geez, we've been together almost 20 years.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, actually over 20 years, almost married 20 years now. So she's my partner.
And you guys met, you said you met in college, right?
And then at the end of college, I was finishing my music degree. And nice. I was doing a part-time job in a hospital, and she was a nurse, and we just got together and just, became a good team, and, we made our life together.
That's awesome. And this is your first ever album that you ever put out?
Well, no, I've got a couple jazz CDs.
Okay.
might be a little hard to find. So, that's my background is jazz, and I was a jazz drummer for many years. I still am. It's probably still the thing musically that I can still do, the best. The rock revival is just kind of something I started thinking about a few years back, and it's one of those things like I always said, I'm learning how to play the guitar a little bit now, and I really would have been nice to play some rock music or write some rock songs. And of course, my wife gets sick of hearing that, and she says, well, then do it. So then that gives me the impetus to do it, and it's like, well, I wrote these songs. It'd be nice maybe to put a few together. Maybe I'll make a record. I really wish I could have done something like that. Right. And then she'll look at me and go, well, then do it. Right.
Stop
and in her way, exactly.
Yeah.
So then I set out to do it. And I literally I decided one day I'd put all these songs together that I had written, and I'm going to finish this.
So growing up as a kid, teenager, early 20s, stuff like that. Who were your favorite bands? Like, who influenced you? Who'd you like? Who'd you think was like, the top guy or a top gal, whatever?
Yeah. Well, I guess, everyone says they like all kinds of music, and for the most part, I think that's true for most things, but boy, I grew up in a household kind of like that. My dad's from Michigan. He was a big Motown guy. So, grew up really appreciating that stuff. Stevie Wonder, the Beatles, the Beach Boys, all that stuff was all around our house. And of course, my dad is a big jazz head. So, I'd be listening to something, he'd say, listen, you should listen to this. So, listen to George Benson when I was a kid, and then Miles Davis. And, so that was the kind of stuff around the house. But boy, the Led Zeppelin records and all the Rush records from my sister and brother, and and then I became a punk. So deep down inside, it's people like the Clash,
right,
the Ramones. Boy, that's the stuff that I really love. Anything by David Bowie. I was crushed when he died.
Smithereens, right?
Oh, the Smithereens, yeah. Rock and roll, good music.
Were you a fan of Tears for Fears at all, or no?
Sure. My wife's a huge Tears for Fears fan.
Yeah, me and Robin saw them a couple months back when they played with Hall & Oates, and they were phenomenal.
Yeah, I was glad to see those bands back. But I followed them through the early 90s, yeah. They had great songs. I'm glad that they're out there playing, But boy, the bands like Husker Du and the Replacements and these bands, this is the stuff that's closest to my heart.
Bob Mould, even his solo stuff, the album Workbook is one of my favorites.
Yeah, Black Sheets of Rain. These are like...
Yeah, Black Rain is black. That one's a good one too. So yeah.
Yeah, these are like island records,
Yep.
Well, we were talking before about some of the songs have a little flair for like the Cars or Joe Jackson or that type of vibe.
Yeah, sure. My sister said the same thing. She said it sounds like the Cars. Of course, she's up there in Massachusetts.
Yeah, of course.
I guess. That's all the music we love, right? That stuff is great music, the timeless music.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I'm an 80s kid, so anything from that era is awesome.
My first impression when I heard Half-Life was, wow, this guy must really love Peter Gabriel. I'm like, you could tell that, he kind of influenced you in some way, or another throughout your, music career and growing up, because you could just tell, just had that kind of vibe. Even the way the video was shot kind of reminded me like of an old Peter Gabriel video,
Yeah. I think I look to a lot of his videos and music for inspiration. Yeah, through my whole life. He's just such a great example, musician's musician, he was a drummer at first. I know everyone said, well, Phil Collins was the original drummer in Genesis, but he started as a drummer.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Zappa started as a drummer. A lot of drummers out there that, Don Henley, right? There's just it's littered, with drummers that turn on to write, go on to write music. But I agree. I mean, he's a big influence on me. Early Genesis, late Genesis, the solo albums by Peter Gabriel, just wonderful. And the musicians are so great, He always gets the best musicians, and I do think it's a big influence. If you hear that, it's probably true.
I think that's pretty impressive that he's a jazz drummer, because they always say that jazz music can be applied to all genre of music.
It's true. Playing jazz is not easy.
No, it's not at all.
So
yeah, probably why I became a doctor.
Yeah.
I have an interesting question. Does the music ever enter your medical world?
Yeah, I think so. That's a great question. I mean, there are music therapists now,
Right.
That's kind of like a little, niche in the medical profession. I try to think, I don't know if there's really, I don't know if I separate them all that much, I talk about music as, maybe being the creative thing and one side of the brain, and, science being the other side, but I don't know. Music is a very whole brain activity, I think. I think it's very analytical in some ways too, scales and rhythm. Maybe I think the best doctors have an open mind. So, and I think good musicians have an open mind. So I don't know. I mean, I've been told that I have some creative solutions, in my medicine. So I do think so. I probably don't separate it as much as maybe I would think. So I do think it probably comes in.
And you figure, music can change your whole mood. Music can change the way you feel in any given moment.
Well, music is great medicine.
It really is. So that he's tied the two together is really a good partnership.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely.
I mean, people have been healed in some aspects by having music played when they're ill. It just helps lift their spirits and helps them heal.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. I have a colleague who said that he once he got the record, he was playing it in the operating room. So I thought that was kind of funny.
That's awesome.
They play music in the MRI machine, that god-awful MRI machine, right? They pipe in music to try to calm you down. But I agree. I think, I'm not sure what my life would be without it. I know my mood is better when I practice a little bit before I go to work. Mm-hmm. So I kind of notice when I don't have the time to do that, I'm maybe not in such a good mood.
Right, and I do see that, because even with Jimmy, with his radio show, it's an outlet, and it's not just a hobby, it's a way to express himself, and it does take you outside of yourself for a little while, and you're just immersed in that, and it does change your mood.
Yep, I think you're right. So, I love to talk about music. I have a stack of business cards. You wouldn't believe the people I meet. I meet so many people in the music business, and a lot of them is through work. Yeah, and people say, "Well, how do you find that out?" I don't know. Just ask people. Talk to people. People want to talk about music. But I probably shouldn't maybe mention exactly who I've met over the years, but it's great. I've had a lot of friendships and a lot of great acquaintances, a lot of famous musicians.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever met someone musically who inspired you, or who you looked up to, or you were a fan of?
Yes.
And if you...
I would say in northern New Jersey, where I live, there's a lot of famous jazz musicians.
Mm-hmm.
And they all come to the emergency room at some point. So,
Wow.
Yeah. So yes, I would say yes. And it's you got to pick the right time to maybe talk about the music,
right?
Because it's maybe not appropriate at some points. But yeah, the answer is yes, and it's always fun. People always love to be recognized too. Let me tell you.
And
sure.
When you play out, have you played out in various Jersey clubs or anything?
Yeah, my gigging has really been jazz. I haven't played a lot of rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
and I would really like to. It's my next goal. It's the next thing that I've been telling my wife, I really think I want to try to play this live. She looks at me and she's, I know what the answer is.
Do it.
Do it.
Exactly. So
I think if you do, I think that you will have a lot of people show up. You have a lot of people in the chat room right now, and then on the website as well. And I think a lot of people are enjoying this record, and I think it's, if you do go out and do it live, and you hire, you grab a couple of guys, a bass player or a guitar player or whatever instrument you're going to play and sing and stuff, and you get a couple of backup singers. I think you got something going there, my friend.
Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for saying that. I would really like to do it. I think I've been kind of getting a couple of offers here and there, so I need to get it together.
I actually know a guy who's a drummer, and he's a jazz drummer. He might be interested in working with you, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, send me over his info.
I will, definitely. If you're gonna do a live show, you're fronting the band, so you're not gonna play drums, obviously, right? What are you gonna play, guitar?
Yeah, probably guitar. Yeah, maybe a little bit of organ.
Nice.
But I've been doing some things. I don't know. I've been fooling around with some ideas. So if there's a way I can do it solo, I want to really be able to play all the songs solo too, in some capacity, or at least most of them, and then start putting that band together.
Well, maybe if you got a drum machine, right? A drum machine and a bass player, and you did the guitar and vocals and stuff, you might be able to pull that off.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on.
I think that would be pretty cool,
Yep, got a looper pedal and kind of experimented with that a little bit, and so we'll see. I have been trying to put it together, and hopefully, as I said, if people are really interested, they can check in with the website from time to time, or believe me, I'll probably be posting it everywhere, right?
Right.
Get a gig, I'll put it out to the world.
We're interested. We'd love to come and see you.
And you were telling
I've got to do a little release thing. Yeah, I have been trying to put a little release party together. So I know the record came out 2 weeks ago, but there's plenty of time. Hopefully in the next month or so, I should have something hammered down for that. So it's coming.
And you said you were climbing the charts in the college radio stations, right?
Yeah, that's been maybe the most exciting thing for me. I've put the jazz CDs out in the past, and it's been a labor of love. But after I made this record, I kind of sent it out. I wanted to see what the reaction would be, and it didn't set the world on fire, but I got a couple offers from like some radio agents and things, and my philosophy is I'm just going to say yes until people stop asking. So I got an offer, to this radio agent, are you interested in maybe trying to get this thing on the college radio stations? And I said yes. And lo and behold, I exceeded my expectations. I was hoping to chart any point, and I entered the chart at probably like 350 something or something, and I was tickled. See my name on any chart anywhere. Mm-hmm. And the end of January, I peaked it on number 73.
All right.
That's awesome.
On one particular college chart. Yeah. So I was very surprised. I was very happy, and it played a lot of different places. It was playing in Alaska. It was playing in Arkansas. Some places in California, Chicago. It was great.
That's exciting.
I was really just happy to know that it was out there in the world.
So what's next for the Tim Lancaster Conspiracy? What are you guys going to do?
Boy.
You got a video coming up, right?
Got the video coming up, which I'm very excited about. I think it's really, I don't think it's a polarizing video. I think it's a very beautiful video, and I think it fits the song. So the video for Bad Sex Face is going to premiere sometime next week in Punk News, which is a magazine online. So that's the next step. And so I'm looking forward to that. But I think long run wise, I have a distribution deal for 3 years. So I made a promise to myself I was going to make one record a year for the next 3 years. So I got the first one done. Mm-hmm. and I'm about 5 to 7 songs or so into the next record. So
wow,
I'm just gonna keep working on it. Yeah. So I'm hoping maybe to get that out beginning of next year.
2019, 2020, somewhere around there.
2019, yeah. I'm shooting for January 1st, 2019. So I'm gonna try to. That's my goal.
That's awesome, man. And all your colleagues at work, they're big supporters of you, I see.
Yeah, I mean, I think, good friends always support you, right? I've got some good friends, good colleagues, Kathleen and Mike, good friends of mine helped me set this interview up,
Yeah, they're
co-workers, just wonderful people. And, I think what it is I think they find it fascinating. I think, I don't think it's like a car wreck on the side of the road, but I think they want to know what the heck's going on with this music, and I think people are interested in I'm very grateful for all my friends and supporters. Yeah.
Well, I think it's pretty cool that you're a doctor and you rock. So I guess you're the doc that rocks, right?
I'm the doc that rocks. Yeah. We should patent that, Jimmy, huh?
You should. That's a T-shirt.
That's a T-shirt.
The doc that rocks,
yeah.
Tim Lancaster. So what's the conspiracy? What's that about?
I'm not sure. My cousin Tommy's been trying to figure that out. God bless him. He's been trying to tie all the themes together on the songs. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think it's up to everybody else to try to figure that out.
But the one thing is, I did.
That's a good conspiracy, right?
Well, I think it's smart that you put something at the end of your name, because there is another guy who's a musician that goes by the name Tim Lancaster.
Yeah.
So
I think there's a few of us out there.
So I guess the conspiracy is you're not that guy. you're the different Tim Lancaster.
Yeah. That's it. You got it, Jimmy. Which one? Which Tim Lancaster is it?
Yeah, it's no, the album, like I said, it's very and we both agreed on it. It's kind of eclectic. When you listen to all the songs, I think you get a different feel for each song. It kind of gives you, like, one song I listened to, it reminded me of Peter Gabriel. Then there was another one that reminded me of Joe Jackson. Then there was another one kind of reminded me of the Clash and the Smithereens, So I think you kind of get a little taste of everything.
Well, I was laughing when you played that Elvis Costello song an hour ago.
Pump It Up.
Yeah. I was laughing. Very inspired song for me. I know that song very, very well. Mm-hmm. Very similar instrumentation on that.
Well, you heard what I said, right? When I was playing when I was doing my show, beforehand, I'm trying to base my song picks on the take I get from his album. I'm thinking, Elvis Costello, Joe Jackson, the Monroes, the Psychedelic Furs, stuff like that. That's why I was playing that, and it's funny that you like that song. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, all that stuff's there. Yeah. So there's probably some other. Oh, go ahead, Jimmy.
So if you had a chance to work with anybody, in the music business, to record a song with or an album, sing with, who would it be?
I think, could I pick three?
Sure,
These are all kind of branches of the same tree. It's a great question, right?
You could pick 5.
The people that really inspire me, Paul Westerberg, Ryan Adams, mm-hmm. Ryan Adams, Adam Duritz, those guys, all very similar. I think I could work with any of them. Those are the guys that I really love. And they're kind of as I said, sort of branches from the same tree, Mm-hmm. Van Morrison, they come out of that sort of, folky rock, little underground, do-it-yourself kind of rock.
Uh-huh.
Paul Westerberg is I just love the guy,
He was in the movies. His music was in the Singles movie, right?
Yep. Yeah, I think he had a song in the Singles movie, yeah. Replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and Duritz, Adam Duritz, lead singer of the Counting Crows, of course.
You got it.
Yeah, I love the cover that they did of the Dead song, "Friend of the Devil." That's a great version. You ever hear that one?
Yep.
That's one of my favorite
I think Butterfly in Reverse, one of their songs, I think was co-written by Ryan Adams, and I think I know that Adam Duritz sings on a couple of Ryan Adams songs, Backup Why, so they were kind of buddies for a little bit. But those are the guys, you know. Those are the guys I like. I mean, Ryan Adams can do anything. He's got punk rock records, you know. He's got folk country rock records, you know. I mean, stunning, like, solo folk records. I mean, boy, just, you know, he covered Taylor Swift record recently, right? I mean, boy, guy can do anything.
Yeah.
So those are the guys that I really, really admire.
And if you could play anywhere, you know, in the world, where would you want to play?
Well, I always wanted to play at the Village Vanguard, so if anyone wants to hire my jazz group at the Village Vanguard, that was probably always my dream.
That's awesome.
I don't know. The Hollywood Bowl? That'd be pretty cool.
I DJ'd there. I DJ'd there once.
Yeah, hook it up. Hook it up, Jimmy.
Yeah, I actually opened up for the country music band Emerson Drive. That was pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was back in the 90s, so...
Just think of all the great groups that have played there, right?
Oh,
everyone's had a great show there.
The Doors are probably the most famous, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that would be a fun place. But you know what? I'd play anywhere. The next place I play is the place I want to play at. How's that?
Yeah. So what you got to do is, you know, when you get the schedule set up and stuff like that, message me, let me know, and let's post that in my group page and stuff, because you know, I have a lot of friends that live in New Jersey, so if it's a Jersey gig, we'll definitely you know, go up there and check you out. I'd love to go up there and shake your hand and meet you and watch you play.
That's great. I really appreciate that. Sure, I'll let you know. I would just say at this point, probably something toward the end of April, and possibly a music festival down the shore in May. So if I can get it together, you know, those would be something that's coming up.
That's awesome.
That sounds good, my friend.
Thank you so much for speaking with us tonight.
I can't thank you enough. I enjoyed talking to you. You know, all musicians love to talk about their music, I think, when given a chance. So it's been great. Thank you so much.
And folks, you know, definitely check out, you know, Tim on Facebook, Tim Lancaster Music. You know, give him a like over there. And you're on Spotify, right?
On Spotify, yep. I'm on Apple Music. I don't know. That's another, you know, great site. I think that's going to catch up with Spotify soon. So as far as you know, people who are listening, so yep, Spotify, Apple Music, it's out there. So if you want to listen to it, I think there's something for everybody on that CD, right? A little bit of something for everybody.
I think so. I really enjoy it. And you know, I really enjoyed talking to you about it, and we're going to promote, you know, the heck out of it. You know, we're going to play a couple more songs tonight, and you know, I'll definitely.
Besides his songs, you want to ask Dr. Tim if he has a request for any kind of music?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, for me, geez, Husker Du. Anything off of any Husker Du out there, or any of the
let's see,
you know, the Sugar stuff by Bob Mould. Any of the Bob Mould solo stuff. That's kind of, I've been listening to tons of that stuff right now. The Replacements too, tons of it.
So you know what I'll do? I want to do.
You got something off Tim? You know, the Replacements, they got a great record called Tim.
Yeah. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do.
Tie it all together.
I'm gonna do some Husker Du, and I'm gonna do some Replacements. But first, I'm gonna do. The song that I started playing before you called, you told me it was one of your favorite ones on the album, Violet.
Yeah, a little bit of a dark, brooding song, but I'm sure I'd love to hear it.
So we're gonna play them out with Violet, and it was great talking to you, buddy. I really enjoy the record. I'm glad you called in. We're definitely, you know, gonna meet up again. Maybe we'll have you come down to the studio one day, or we'll meet up at one of your shows.
That'd be great. I really look forward to it, guys.
All right, Tim.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thanks for calling in, buddy.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll talk soon, all right?
Yep.
All right, take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Lancaster. Don't forget to check him out on Facebook. Give him a like, Tim Lancaster Music, and also check him out on Spotify and iTunes as well.